Hi everybody. Before this episode gets started, I'd just like to remind you that there's just a few episodes left here in Season 3 of Rapant Outdoors 360. Now, after a short break, Rapant Outdoors 360 Season 4 will be coming your way with its first episodes sometime near the end of April 2022. Now, I wanted to thank everybody, all my subscribers and all my viewers, for the first 3 seasons of all your support and having me get to 300 plus subscribers. It's really appreciated. Now I'm going to set another goal on subscribership for Season 4. By the end of Season 4, my goal is to try to get to 500 subscribers and maybe even a little more. So make sure that you subscribe, like, comment, and share. Now in Season 4, we're still going to continue with our gift giveaways as we started here in Season 3. Many more big giveaways to be coming. So if you're not subscribed, get yourself subscribed, join in on the fun, and be eligible for the upcoming gift giveaways. Now, speaking of gift giveaways, just wanted to remind everybody that the Season 3 big $200 value hunting gift giveaway is still in progress. So, if you're not yet a subscriber, get yourself subscribed, go back, check out those gift giveaway videos to find out exactly what's in this $200 valued package and what you need to do to get yourself involved in a chance to win it. Now, let's get this video started. As you may recall, Part 2 of the 2020 Final Fall Bull Hunt ended with this 6-point buck coming within 17 to 20 yards of me sitting in the blind. But because of recent intel from trail cameras and boots on the ground information from Kevin Pitzel's hunt, we are aware of 8s, 9s, and 10-pointers that are currently active in our hunting area. So I decided to let this 6-point buck pass. So join us as we begin Part 3 of the 2020 Final Fall Bull Hunt entitled The Big 8 Encounter. Well, it's about 9:45. It's been an hour since that 4-pointer was in. We didn't do any calling. We just wanted to see if some other bucks might follow his pattern, but nothing has happened. So we're going to do a couple of grunts and sit and wait here. See what happens. Alright, it's a little after 10. We did a couple of buck grunts, and I'm going to follow that up now with some more doe bleats. And then we're just going to sit here till 11 o'clock and see if we get any more activity. Stick with us. I just picked up some movement, roughly the same direction that that buck came in with this morning. Way out in this direction.
seeing anything. Could have been a bird, or a big bird flying by, or shadow, something out there caught my eye. Oh well. Keep watching. You know what? Just in case it was a deer out there or a buck, I think I'm just going to do a little grunt call. See what happens. I think that's a safe bet, just to cover all the bases, just in case. We saw something out there, shadow, movement, something. Tried to identify it, couldn't. I think a safe bet would be just a couple of those grunts in case we got a buck there. Ah, I do see a deer. All right, let's see if we can rattle him in. If that's a buck, we grunted. Let's try rattling. I see him moving out there. Let's see if that don't bring him in. He's coming. There, I see him moving. There's two of them out there. Ooh, ooh, ooh. He's right out there.
Watch closely here in slow motion, and you'll pick up the rack of the tall tine 8-point as he's on the trail of a doe.
There were two of them out there.
And now the tactical strategy begins.
Let's do the doe bleat, see what happens. Again, that stutter in there is telling the bucks the doe is making the sound that she's ready to breed. Okay.
As I pick up a slight glimpse of doe movement in the thick brush, I ready the crossbow, watching intently for the big 8 to come in following the doe, and hopefully it will turn towards the food plot and present itself so I have a shot opportunity. Unfortunately, the doe moves off to the southwest, going further away with the buck on her tail.
We may scrap our lunch plans at 11. We just may sit almost the whole day. A lot of action this morning. Stick with us. We got another deer. There it is. Could be a doe. Yeah, it is a doe. Moving pretty good too. That doe's really moving. Let's see here. Oh, there's another one moving. There were two more does out there.
It's hard to see, but watch in slow motion now and you'll see another buck behind the does.
Oh, there's a buck. Small one. It's that 4-pointer again. Yeah, that's a guy that was in here this morning at 17 yards that I passed on. He's chasing them does. By that little snot.
If you notice, that 6-point buck, he's looking backwards. He's looking for the big 8 whose rack we just saw behind the does a little while ago.
They got frisky does all over the place.
As active as all these does have been, and the reaction of that small rack 6-point buck, that big rack 8 has just got to be around close. I just don't see him yet.
Sorry guys. Trying to focus in here as steady as I can. There we go. There's that 4-pointer. I got a lot of doe activity with this 4-pointer. Now he's hanging back. The doe are running all over. I gotta think there's gonna be a bigger buck in here. He knows. He's moving, he's following those doe. He's looking for those doe.
You can see the change in this buck's attitude. He's very cautious. There's just gotta be a big buck around someplace.
Well, that's cool. A lot of activity. A lot of rut activity going on right now. I'm just watching that 4-pointer and I'm thinking there's got to be a bigger buck around here someplace. Those doe were running around him and he was making no effort to go breed them. I mean, he kind of followed them, but he wasn't very aggressive. We got to watch for a bigger buck. And I had just broke for my lunch snack because we're going to stick it out a little longer. I got 2 big bites out of the apple when this action started. So we're just going to keep watching out here. We're looking for that bigger buck. It's about 10 after 11. I thought I saw some movement at 12 o'clock through the growth. And as I looked to my left about a minute or two later, I could see the tail end of a deer. Don't know if it's a buck or a doe. And just a brief glance as it's going through the woods. I mean, it's out there 70 yards. But if it's a doe, we watch for a buck. So we just keep our eyes peeled. Lots of action this morning. By far, one of my best days in the deer woods. We picked up the buck. Following that, must have been a doe. Nice buck.
Wow, let's take another good look at this buck in slow motion. I'm so excited I'm just shaking, and the slow motion makes it even worse looking.
I'm gonna grunt, see if we can stop him. I can't see him. I lost him in that thick brush back there. He went back in here and I can't see him. I didn't see him move out of there though. He got into that. He got into the big brush out in here, and I tried to grunt at him to stop him and hopefully turn him around, but nothing. He's on the trail of that doe. All right, it's about 10 after 12, and we haven't had any activity for about an hour roughly. I'm just wondering if the bucks now midday are starting to bed down a little bit. Not sure. I did know that 4-pointer, remember when I said I lost him? He had bedded down right outside the food plot in the thick grass here by the swamp area. And when I saw that one buck go through, and I grunted at him to try to get him to turn around, he came through and then started heading west. So I grunted at him and then I couldn't see him. But when I grunted, that little 4-pointer here, he jumped up and he took off. So he was starting to bed down already, and I'm wondering if maybe now there's going to be a lull as them bucks bed down. So, just an observation. Just to reiterate about the wind coming from my left or your right as you're looking at me. It's coming from this way, blowing this way. All the deer activity is coming from this side here as they're moving through. Nothing came from this side in. Everything's coming from here this way as they're working into that wind, trying to pick up scents. I finished munching that apple, and we're going to forego going in for lunch. I think we're going to sit it out here into early afternoon. The activity level is up there. It's peaking. I hate to break for lunch. So stick with us. More action to come, I hope. Hey, Kevin, how's that for a picture? He's flicking his tail right in your lens. All right, we're going to alter that series of calls a little bit. We'll start out with a couple of grunts, and then we'll do the snort wheeze, like another buck hearing the grunts and snorting and wheezing back at him. And then we'll wait a little bit, and then we'll go into a full rattle sequence. So. We ran through that sequence of that buck grunt, snort, wheeze, rattle, and nothing. So we're just waiting out the last 15 minutes. Then we'll get some prep work done for tomorrow's hunt, and we're going to call it a day.
Before I headed back to the trailer and ended my hunt, I reactivated both of the mock scrapes by re-scraping and putting down buck urine. Then I also refreshed the doe estrus scents in the area.
Well, our original plan was to hunt until 11 a.m., then head in for lunch and head into town for a much needed supply run. Then we'd be back and out in the blind, hopefully by 2 p.m., and hunt till dusk. But our plans changed due to all that great activity this morning. We ended up staying out hunting till 2 p.m. We didn't want to go back and miss anything. So getting back at 2 p.m., well, by the time we eat lunch, head into town, do our supply run, and get back, we'd be lucky if we'd get back to the blind by 4 p.m. It's almost not worth going out. So we kind of ended our hunt at 2 p.m. when we headed in for lunch. We wouldn't be coming out anymore today. But while we were on our supply run, check out these videos that I managed to shoot from the truck.
Close contact.
Check out this buck.
The high risk close contacts, the better it is for our football team.
Head into Walmart to pick up some supplies. And another nice buck I see today. What a day this has been.
Now, on the way back to the trailer from making our supply run, I spot an entire field of deer, which I mistook for all doe.
There's a mess of them.
But upon closer inspection, I found a large 8-point buck among all of his girlfriends.
Now, even though those 8-pointers outwitted me today and I didn't get a shot opportunity, I'm very confident after all of this whitetail action that I still got a really good chance in the day and a half I've got left to hunt.
After seeing the last of the whitetail action late morning while hunting and having no other action, let's review the after hunt trail cam data review for the afternoon and evening of Tuesday, November 17th. Food plot deer activity didn't resume until 6:34 p.m. when this doe showed up on the north edge of the food plot. Now, just 2 minutes later, that same doe took a keen interest in one of my trail cams and came in for a closer look. Check out this series of pictures taken between 6:36 and 6:38 p.m. This was the only deer activity appearing on the trail cam for the rest of the day. However, a little over 2 hours later, this predator was checking scent where that doe came in earlier.
Now with this late evening coyote activity on the food plot, I just hope my hunt doesn't turn into a shoulda, woulda, coulda with that 6-point buck that was at 17 to 20 yards earlier this morning.
Well, it's 10 after 8, Wednesday morning. A pretty slow start this morning, kind of like Monday. Yesterday that intense action didn't start till around 9 o'clock, quarter to 9 maybe, somewhere in there. So we'll stick it out today as long as we can. All right, that's it for this morning. Stick with us. Hopefully we have an exciting morning like we did yesterday. All right, we've got an east wind blowing today, so it's blowing from behind me, directly straight out in front of me. One of the advantages of sitting in a blind is to help mask your scent. So I'm expecting any approaches from directly in front of me coming in. Any deer investigating any of my calls will circle around downwind like I've been saying and walk into the wind to try to catch any scent. After 9, I haven't seen any deer movement, very little animal movement or bird movement also. We did the doe bleats because, like I said, the recent intel with all the bucks in the area, I think we're going to do a rattling sequence and see if that doesn't draw something in. So let's get set up for that rattling sequence. Let's see if that doesn't arouse Mr. Big's curiosity. The woods are exceptionally quiet. I mean, noise-wise. Other than the wind, there's nothing. Yesterday we had the sandhill cranes. We had the squirrels barking. We had the birds fluttering around and chirping. We had blue jays calling, crows. Just listen to this out here. Another part of the puzzle to try to put together. So far, 0 deer activity. And it's 9:45. Yesterday at this time we were already into some intense deer action, but nothing today. Completely turned around from yesterday, the conditions in the woods. It's amazing. Like I said, we need to put together the pieces of the puzzle and figure it out. Stick with us. We're still trying. Another observation from the ground blind here on Wednesday morning at 9:45. I was talking about the lack of activity in the area. And we are noticing now a slight uptick in bird movement. Some of the chickadees, woodpecker. Here, take a look. Well, it's been a while. I think we're going to go back to some doe bleat calls. Do a little series of 3, and again we do that stutter sound. That stutter bleat is the doe telling bucks that she's ready to breed. So see if we got any success with that again. Alright, settle in and wait and watch. Stick with us as we're still trying to put together the pieces of the puzzle here on Wednesday morning.
Unfortunately, after waiting a while, the only response we saw or heard was the wind blowing through the trees.
Another observation from the ground blind here on Wednesday morning. The other thing, another part of the puzzle, yesterday, you could hear a lot of rifle shots. I'd say I heard at least a half a dozen, 6 to 10 of guys probably sighting in their rifle. Gun deer season starts this Saturday. And it was after that. I don't know what it's been like in the afternoon late, but it had shut down. And now nothing this morning. So part of the puzzle, are they acclimated to that gunshot sound and all of a sudden they become a little more skittish? I don't know. I can't tell you. Just another observation from the ground blind. It's about 20 to 11. Still haven't seen a deer at all. We did some doe bleats. We did a rattling sequence. I think I'm going to try a couple of grunts right now. See what happens. Now, I read about this once. When you use your buck grunt, you want to sound beatable in the deer woods. If you give out that low, rough, loud grunt, you're going to have the less dominant bucks in the area go, oh my God, it's the big guy. Let's get out of here. They don't want to pick a fight with the big guy. So what you want to do is you want to appeal not only to the big guy, but to also those less dominant bucks. So you want to sound beatable in the woods. So let's see if we can sound beatable this morning. Did that sound beatable to you? I think that was beatable. Well, let's see what happens.
Again, after waiting a decent amount of time, all we heard or saw in response to our grunt calls was the wind in the trees. Now, another part to the puzzle of the lack of deer activity could be the warmer weather, as the temps rose into the 50s today. It was so quiet, warm, and comfortable inside the blind, I even found myself dozing off and on.
Well, I've made up my mind. It's 1:45. We haven't seen any deer. I'm sticking it out till like 4 or 4:30. I gotta figure they're gonna start moving it as it starts getting closer to dusk. They've been down all day long. So, part of the puzzle, maybe today was a day of rest. Even during the rut, they may be resting today. Bedded down during the daylight. As it starts to get to the long shadows of the day, they may get up and start moving around. So this is my last full day of the hunt. If I do this and hunt late tonight, I can't hunt tomorrow morning. I'll have to break down the blind in the morning, get everything packed up and ready to go. I think my better shot is to stick it out late tonight because we didn't have any deer activity during the day. Nothing at all. What a frustrating day. The woods are different right now. So, trying to put together the piece of the puzzle. Now I'm thinking possibly the bucks are bedded down today from all the activity in this area yesterday. Could they be taking a day of rest even during the rut? Just another observation from the ground blind. If you were a buck and you were bedded down all day and the rut is on, would you rather wake up and get in a fight with one of your buddies, another buck, or would you rather wake up and go after your lady? I think I'll do doe bleat calls instead of a rattling sequence or buck grunting. Just a thought from the ground blind. All right. Settle in and wait, see what happens. It's 10-3. 9 hours sitting in this blind. Haven't seen a dang deer yet. Nothing's working today. Silence, they're not coming in. Doe bleats, they're not coming in. Rattling, they're not coming in. Grunting, they're not coming in. They're just not coming in. Tough day, but we still got an hour to put the last piece of the puzzle in place. Stick with us. We're trying to get it done. I gotta start to wonder, this is my last full day of the 2020 deer hunt for bow hunting. And I've got to start wondering if passing on that little 4-point, what I call the 4-point, you could hardly see. But if you look real close, he had 2 little nubs for brow tine, so he actually was a 6. But anyways, as we're getting later on in the hunt now, and today there's 0 deer, got to start second guessing myself and saying, should I have taken him? He didn't fit the bill. We're looking for 8s, 9s, and 10s. We know they're in the area. We saw a couple of 8s yesterday. Just couldn't get that one to commit any further than 50 to 60 yards. But now you look back and you're thinking, if I would have taken him yesterday, I'd have been on my way home already today. Hunt would have been done. You start to wonder about stuff like that when it gets late in your hunt and you're not seeing deer now. So anyways, just an observation from the ground blind. It's 25 to 4, going on 10 hours. Frustrating day. I'm ready to just pack it in and leave now, but I ain't gonna let them beat me. I said I'd be out here for 10-hour days, and I'm sticking it out. Something still could walk in here late. We still could make the magic happen. So, 25 minutes yet. Well, there's sunset. That ends my 2020 bow season. Kind of a letdown day here, 10 hours in the woods and didn't even see a single deer. Yesterday would have been my day. I probably, in hindsight, should have took that 6-pointer, 20-yard shot, 17-yard shot, whatever it was. But there was so much intel with 8, 9s, and 10s, and we had 2 8s come in yesterday too. Just couldn't get shots at them. So an unsuccessful 2020 bow hunt for me because I didn't harvest an animal, but I sure had a great time just experiencing the hunt, being out here watching the animals. It was fun. It was a good time. So never a bad time to be in the woods or on the water fishing. Or like a buddy of mine in Canada says, there's never a bad time to be more outdoors. I'm going to tear down the blind now. That's it. Thanks for coming along on my 2020 bow hunt, and I hope you enjoyed it. I don't have a trophy or a deer to show you on cam of me harvesting one, but it was a lot of fun, and like I said, I hope you enjoyed the ride. Thanks for coming along. We'll catch you next time.
Now, I didn't know it at the time I did the closing you just saw, but earlier that Thursday morning at 8:58 a.m., about a half hour before I was out taking down my blind and shooting this ending, the tall-tined buck made a daylight appearance on the north edge of the food plot just 20 yards from my blind. There was the final piece of the puzzle, and I wasn't there to put it in place. All the intel in the world doesn't help if you're not in the right spot at the right time.
Well, we didn't get all the puzzle pieces to fit for our final 2020 fall bow hunt. But speaking of puzzle pieces, check this out. Here's the final piece of the puzzle for our big $200 value hunting-related gift giveaway. So check it out now. Here's the second key word. Now, don't forget, you have to email me both key words. Send that email to rapantoutdoors360@gmail.com. Do not, I repeat, do not spell out the keywords in any of the video comments that you may leave on the individual videos. In order to qualify, you must send the 2 keywords. Again, send an email with the 2 keywords to my email address at rapantoutdoors360@gmail.com. You'll then be entered into the big $200 value hunting related gift giveaway. Best of luck to all of you. Feel free to comment below, or if you don't want to comment in the public eye, we can also be reached at rapantoutdoors360@gmail.com. Now, if you know somebody you think might enjoy this video series, please feel free to go ahead and share this video or this link with your friend. And as always, whether you fish or hunt, remember, practice CCR. Catch, conserve, replenish. Make sure that that resource is available for future generations. See you next time, guys.